Namibia is one of the least densely populated countries in the world, and most of the country is marked by alternating green and desert landscapes, as well as clear skies. While you might think of Southern Africa just from the lens of South Africa, consider expanding that lens beyond South Africa's northern edge, where you'll find the serene and startling Namibia.
Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Todun, founder of Redcity Company, an engineering and construction company. We make videos that educate about people, history, places, and ideas that build the future. Before you continue this video, consider subscribing and turn on post notifications to stay updated.
Namibia offers wildlife flowing through a green space. Desert adapted lions, elephants, and giraffes that vanish into the shimmer of heat. The coast moans with wind and salt. Namibia's beaches are not typical destinations. They are a unique blend of desert and ocean, with towering sand dunes touching the Atlantic coastline. The landscape is often described as stark, wild, and beautiful, with long sandy stretches trimmed by rocky shapes, and in some areas, the story of shipwrecks. Cold current creates a dramatic atmosphere, with frequent fog and powerful currents, making it quite an adventurous landscape. And when the night falls, the stars lean forward and look so close, you feel like touching them. In some places, long dead trees stand as frozen mid-dream. Namibia offers a landscape that feels like the memory of another planet. Before I landed, so in May to June, I visited Namibia, and I went in part to set up Redcity's second base. We have put up some information on social media, Instagram, which you can check out. But we also attended and gave a brief speaking engagement at the Green Building of Namibia's members meetup, which was really great. And I got to meet quite a lot of interesting people. And that's in part to what this video is about. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Green Building Council of Namibia, which is one of the more active green building councils in Africa. So before I landed, all I knew was this: Namibia was a beautiful destination. Redcity is down here. We're working towards a green project with the underfunded community, which we'll share more about later. But today, we're not here to talk about our project, but rather some of the things Namibia is doing right in green engineering its built environment. In this video, we'll be joined by the coordinator of the Green Building Council of Namibia, Nadine Krotz. And I think that at the end of this video, you might find yourself thinking or even asking, why haven't I been to Namibia before? Now, before we continue, we would like to give a bit of color to Namibia's history. While today, Namibia is one of the few African countries paying close attention to green engineering its built environment, its history is far less green. Perhaps the right color to use here might be red. Beneath its beauty lies a history shaped by violence, resistance, and endurance. Once under brutal German colonization, then folded into South Africa's apartheid regime, Namibia wasn't free until 1990, 35 years after Mandela's imprisonment. Namibia's story begins long before maps gave it a name. For millennia, the Sand people moved like whispers across the land, tracking antelope paths, painting their dreams in ochre stone. The Damara and Nama followed, shaping their lives around the rhythms of the desert. Later came the Bantu-speaking peoples, bringing cattle, iron, and new languages to the soil. The land was vast, and the people knew how to listen to it. Then in 1888, the silence was broken. Germany arrived with flags and rifles, declaring the territory German Southwest Africa. What followed was not just colonization, it was catastrophe. The Herero and Nama resisted, and in response, the German Empire unleashed one of the first genocides of the 20th century. Tens of thousands perished. The desert, once a place of memory and movement, became a graveyard of heroes. After Germany's defeat in World War II, the land changed hands. South Africa took control under a liege of nations mandate. And though the world moved on, Namibia remained in shackles. Apartheid laws crossed the border. Indigenous voices were silenced. The land again echoed with cries of freedom. In 1960, a movement of the people took shape. It began with petitions and protests, then with arms and exile. For decades, Namibians fought with the shadows of global politics, their struggle often overlooked, their courage unrecorded. And then, finally, the world listened. On May 21st, 1990, Namibia stood tall beneath its own flag. The land that had endured so much colonialism, war, and silence was now sovereign. But independence was not an ending, it was a beginning. Today, Namibia is still writing its history. In 2025, it became the first country to elect both a female president and a female vice president. It saw the first recognition of Africa Day, a day to remember its past. And within these quiet revolutions, it is shaping a future that honors the past without being bound by it. Now let's talk more about Namibia's Green Building Council. The Green Building Council of Namibia was established in 2012. Its mission: to promote, encourage, and facilitate green building in the Namibian property and construction industry through market-based solutions, focusing on advocacy and promotion, which includes bringing awareness to the benefits of green building, supporting the government to lead by example, to legislate and facilitate the adoption of green building practices, recognizing and rewarding industry leaders who achieve green building excellence, employing rating tools, establishing a common language and best practice standard of measurement for green buildings through the application of Green Star rating tools. Today, Namibia is one of only 6 African countries to have not just 1 or 3. They follow the Green Star system, adapted from South Africa, but reshaped for Namibians' conditions. Buildings are evaluated for energy, water, materials, innovation, social impact, even biodiversity, and they are certified. While most certifications are permanent, only those for operational stages require renewal to ensure that the building is still performing as intended. We had the opportunity to chat with Nadine, the coordinator of the Green Building Council of Namibia, to help us better understand the Green Star system.
Good morning, Nadine.
Good morning.
Appreciate you taking the time to kind of talk to us again. So we've had some initial conversations, but I'll start off with a bit of an introduction again. I'll introduce myself briefly, and then I'll have you introduce yourself to the call and to the listeners. So my name is Somto Madueke. I'm a co-founder for Redcity, and I'm an electrical engineering advisor, and I advise in a technical capacity for Redcity. Can you help us with your name and your job and description, everything you
do? Thanks. So thank you so much for the invitation. My name is Nadine Krotz. I am an architect, and I'm the coordinator of the Green Building Council of Namibia, or short, just GBCNA. So maybe a bit about the GBCNA. It was founded in 2013, and it is one of over 75 local GBCs that are members of the World Green Building Council. And we're also part of the African Regional Network, so the ARN. And we work alongside with other African GBCs to drive sustainability and the transformation towards sustainability in the built environment. So we certify buildings, we raise awareness for sustainability and educate professionals in the industry.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So when I first heard about you, I heard about you through my co-founder, Tudun, who was very, very interested in you guys' approach and you guys' outlook on sustainably influenced design. And I think that's something that really resonates with us, and it's a common ground that we share. And I think it's amazing. So one of the most important things that I think that one of the things that matters the most to us is your Green Star rating. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain to figure out how the Green Star rating works, what it is, who issues it, and what are the advantages of having your building Green Star rated.
Okay, so green buildings are projects that have been certified under the Green Star rating system. And that system is a trusted, internationally recognized certification and was originally developed by the Green Building Council of South Africa and then has been adapted by the Green Building Council, first developed by the Green Building Council of Australia and then has been adapted by the Green Building Council of South Africa, so the GBCSA. And for Namibia, the South African Green Star model has been adopted and tailored to suit Namibia's specific climate context and all the requirements. And the Green Star system assesses the environmental and social sustainability of buildings across several categories. So all in all, that's 10 categories. And it provides a comprehensive framework for measuring how well a building performs in terms of sustainability and also climate responsiveness. A Green Star rating that indicates that a building is not just like standard, but goes beyond minimum regulatory requirements. And it demonstrates kind of, leadership in green design construction and also in the operation phase.
And so you mentioned that the GBCNA is what kind of handles the status of green buildings in Namibia, and you didn't give enough of a description or enough of an explanation of what the GBCNA is and what it does. I was asking a little bit more about the Green Building Council's purpose and how it's directly involved in the Green Star ratings and the green building movement in general.
Yep. As I said before, many countries have their own local GBCs, but we're always working together. For example, the African Green Building Councils work together, but we also work closely together with the World Green Building Councils and have also global campaigns to promote sustainability. We always help each other out for example, have speakers sent to conferences from the other GBCs. And for example, we also work closely together with the Green Building Council of South Africa, because the South African Green Building Council is a bit older than we are, and South Africa is a bit bigger, so the Green Building Council is also a bit bigger, and so for us it's really helpful that we can work together with the Green Building Council of South Africa, because we don't have to start a whole new certification, but we can adapt their certification and just adapt it to the Namibian context. And also we work together in terms of certification, so we don't do it on our own because we're quite small, but we do it together with the Green Building Council of South Africa. And we work together not only with this certification, but also with other certifications, and also, for example, with the trainings. So if they offer a training, we also forward it to our members and the other way around.
That's fantastic. Okay, so if you don't mind, I wanted to get like a little bit, not too technical, but I wanted to understand what is the criteria for, what's the rating system for these green buildings? So what would the council be looking for in order to give a green star rating to a building? What are these criteria?
So for the Green Star certification, as I said, there are 10 categories, and they're covering a broad spectrum of sustainability aspects. These include management practices during design, construction, and operation. So the categories are energy, water, materials, innovation, emissions. Then there's a socio-economic category. They also look into transport, indoor environment, quality, management, and land use and ecology. So it's a really broad spectrum. And you can apply with that Green Star certification for different types of projects. So it's for new developments. You can apply, or with new buildings, you can apply for the sustainable precincts, new building certification, and also the interior certification. With an existing building, you can also apply for the interiors. So interiors is both for new and existing, but you can also have the existing building performance, which has a look into the operational phase of the building. And the rating of the Green Star goes from, for new buildings, it goes from 4 stars, that's best practice, a 5-star, that's South African excellence, and 6-star, that's the highest, that's world leadership.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. So, I mean, this next question is a little bit, so for people who aren't like us, who aren't, sustainably minded, who aren't thinking about how they're saving the planet, what are the incentives for a Green Star building? What are the other incentives for a Green Star building that someone who isn't all about sustainability would enjoy?
Yeah. The incentives come in many forms. First, certified buildings, or also just green buildings, they often benefit from reduced operational costs due to energy and water efficiency and savings. And that often leads to significant savings over the time, and also to significant cost savings. The Green Star certification also enhances a building's market value and appeals to tenants and investors to prioritize sustainability. So you have a higher market value of your building if it's certified or green certified. It also improves the occupant health and also productivity. And it leads to a higher satisfaction of the tenants who live in that building or who work in that building. Regarding financial incentives, the Green Star certification helps to qualify for green financing options. So many of the big banks here in Africa, they offer green loans or grants. And in some countries, you also qualify for tax incentives. But there you always have to look into the regulatories. Overall, it signals leadership and sustainability, but also, stays ahead in a competitive market, the building.
Sorry. You see, that's good information to give out, because I feel like some people might not always see the benefits of building sustainably unless you give them some sort of financial incentive, or unless you give them some sort of sort of direction. Okay, so my next question is going to be so regarding these Green Star certifications, how does one get them? Do you come to the council and apply, or does the council do the research, look out for these houses that are being built in a certain way, and then give the accreditations? What's the process like for getting these?
Of course, we always try to promote those certifications, the different ones we have. But if you want to build sustainable, then you come, or it's the best if you come to in an earlier stage to us and tell us that you want to certify your building and build green. Because the earlier you start to implement green measures, the cheaper it is. If you apply these measures at the end of the stage, then it's harder to achieve a really green building. But yeah, so people come to us. You always go to the local Green Building Council if there's a Green Building Council. So buildings in Namibia or people in Namibia that want to build green, they come to us and then they qualify the project. It always depends on the certification when you register your project with us. And you can also get a list of professionals. It always depends on the certification, which professionals we have here in the country, but we have different, for example, for the Green Star, it's called Green Star AP, accredited professional. You don't have to have a Green Star AP for your Green Star building, but it always helps to have someone who knows the certification. And yeah, you register your project, you do the design, and then we do after the, for example, for Green Star, after the design stage, if it's a new building, then you get a certification, and then you also get a certification after the building is finished. So there's one like preliminary certification and then one at the end. And we do together with the Green Star South Africa the certification, and yeah.
It's been very informative kind of learning about how the Green Star process works. So I've heard something about there's an EDGE certification or EDGE certification. I wanted to know, what is the EDGE certification? Is it the same as the Green Star? Is it different from the Green Star? Is one better than the other? Can you kind of just give me a little bit of a breakdown of what the EDGE certification is and how it relates to the Green Star certification?
Yeah. The EDGE and Green Star certification differ mainly in the focus and also in the depth. And you always have to see what's the aim of your building, and then you choose for Green Star or EDGE certification. So as I told before, Green Star has a lot of categories and a broad holistic assessment of sustainability, as well as social and management aspects. And EDGE, on the other hand, focuses specifically on quantifiable resource efficiency. So it looks into reductions in energy use, water consumption, and embodied energy in materials. So you have those three categories where you have a deeper look into. And it's a really streamlined tool designed for easy access and also easy use. It was designed, the whole tool, for the emerging markets. Of course, you can also use it in any country you'd like to. But it was specifically designed for emerging markets. And it's a tool from the IFC, that's the International Finance Corporation. So EDGE is a more performance and metrics-driven tool that's a bit easier and not as broad as the Green Star rating.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So From what I've heard about the differences between Edge and Green Star, it sounds almost like you can have both. Are they complementary in any sense? Is it possible to have both a Green Star rating and an Edge rating, or yeah, an Edge certification?
Yeah, you can have both, but in most of the cases, it's better to concentrate on just one certification. Yeah, because then you just focus on one and go deeper into that one and try to advance your building for that certification. Yeah, because it's just more practical and also cost effective to select just one certification, which fits the project goals, context, and also yeah, to just concentrate your efforts in one certification. Yeah, I'd say that's the better way for yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of ask in a sense, so these Green Star certifications, yeah, in your opinion, do you think there's any sort of quantifiable impact that these certifications have had on the environment, even just locally, like in places that they've been implemented, like Namibia, South Africa? Is there any sort of quantifiable decrease in pollution, increase in ease of life, or things like that? Are there any like quantifiable improvements that these certifications, these sustainable certifications, have created in the environment?
Of course, if you look into that building, then you see that it has, yeah, it's with all the certifications that it has most of the times less energy use, less water use, also renewable energy use. Also, most of the times you have a look into materials and where the materials come from, that you have local materials, so that there's not much CO2 or not that much CO2 for the transport of materials from all over the world. But yeah, that you just use local materials. But often if you just see a green building, then often you don't realize it at the first look. So those green measurements are within the building, but from the outside they don't look different to a regular building. But yeah, of course, for example, for Green Star, you still measure your energy use, water use, the CO2, and you have all those, yeah, those measurements, and then you can see that it performs definitely better than a regular building in terms of sustainability. For example, it's the same with the Edge certification. There you also see when you use the Edge tool, how much energy you save, water you save, and how much embodied energy and materials you save. And it also shows you directly in the tool when you use the tool. That's of course just the modeled reduced use of those things. You also have a look later on in the operational phase, but yeah, it's a really nice overview about how your building performs better than a regular building.
Okay, so I want to ask a question. It's going to be twofold. So the first question is, what do you see happening in the next 5-10 years in terms of sustainable building? Do you think the adoption is going to go up? Do you think it's going to stay kind of flat? And if you think the kind of like adoption is going to go up, do you think it's going to be widespread? Do you think a lot of people are going to be, are going to get on the bandwagon, so to speak, and kind of realize the the kind of environmental danger we've put ourselves in, and we're trying to kind of like dig our way out of. Do you think the spread of sort of sustainable building is going to be do you think it's going to be widespread, or do you think it's going to be kind of like slow moving, kind of like trudging along? What do you think is going to happen next in the space in the industry?
So we already see a change in the market, that many people are interested in building sustainably. And I think at the beginning it always takes some time until it starts. But once you have a few green buildings and they work some kind of or as some kind of motivation for other people to also build green, then it becomes more the standard to build green. But it always takes some time. But we hope, really hope that green buildings are becoming soon the standard, and not the exception. But we see that the market changes, and we also see that more professionals are interested in certifications. But it's not only about certifications, it's also just about building green, because of course you can also just build green without a certification. So we definitely see a change of the market, but I think it still takes some time.
Okay. That kind of it segues nicely into my next question, which is you see a potential change in the market, but I've come to believe that governments play a sort of very pivotal role in how well these measures and these ideologies kind of get adopted in terms of creating legislation and kind of making things easier. Are you guys in talks or in partnership or in collaboration with the Namibian government or the South African government or any sort of governmental body to kind of pave the way or smoothen the journey for this sustainable movement, the sustainable building movement that we're working on?
Over the last years, we're always in contact with the government and some of the ministries to have some impact on sustainability. There's also one of the ministries which is a member of us. And we're also having a workshop this month in 1.5 weeks.
Right.
Together with one of the ministries. It's about the Namibia's NDCs. The NDCs are kind of a climate climate change plan, a national plan for more sustainability. And we try to involve also buildings in this national climate change plan. And therefore we have a workshop with stakeholders, also some ministries, the city of Windhoek, and different industry leaders, and see how we can implement buildings or sustainable buildings within these NDCs. So we're in contact with the ministries and also with local authorities, and try to bring the sustainability forward.
This has been a great conversation. I've kind of learned a lot about the Green Star rating system, and amazingly, other rating systems or the accreditation systems that operate around the world. So before I leave you, I want to get your closing thoughts, or more importantly, I want to get your, not a prediction, but what would you like to happen in the sustainable building space over the next few years? This isn't what you think is going to happen. This isn't any a prediction. What would you want? How would you want the progression of sustainable building to kind of flow and grow over the next 5 to 10 years? And then we can round up on that.
Okay. Yeah, or in an ideal, or yeah, my wish would be that sustainable buildings change the lives of many Namibians and are the start for, or yeah, are the base for a healthier life, healthier indoor quality, and that sustainable buildings reach all people here in Namibia. And yeah, I'd also like to see that building sustainably is not the exception but the standard. That would be really great. Yeah.
Awesome. That's amazing. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I really hope, we can continue to fight the fight for sustainability on both sides of the African continent. This has been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Nadine. I thank you for all the information you've given me, and thank you for actually taking the time out of your day to do this. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much also for the opportunity to speak today and for the platform that you and Tudun and also Redcity provided. Yeah, it's been really helpful for us. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you, and we'll keep in contact and fight the good fight of sustainability.
Definitely.
Namibia is not engineering some of the greenest buildings in Africa. Namibia is giving us something ambitious, a future that's green, grounded, and quietly revolutionary. So next time, if you're planning a trip to the south, or perhaps a trip to Africa, I suggest you consider letting Namibia surprise you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I tried to talk more a bit about my personal experiences, what we're doing for Redcity, but at the same time, we don't want to talk about what we're doing. We want to talk about, engineering the future of cities. So thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you've been to Namibia, please drop a comment. If you're going to Namibia, please let me know. We might be in Namibia again this year or next year, early next year. But I would like to stay in touch and get connected. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.